Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Joy with Intention, the podcast. I'm your host, Joy. So lovely to have you here. If you're new, well, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're not, well, thank you so much for sticking around. I upload new episodes every Sunday at 12 a.m. GMT. So if you want to stay updated, be sure to turn on your post notifications so you never miss an episode. And just a really quick reminder and a favor, if you could give the show a really quick rate, review, like, comment, subscribe from whatever platform you're listening on, just to really help the show really get out there about the candid and inspiring wellness and lifestyle conversations we have here. That would be truly and greatly appreciated, you guys. So, yeah, let us get straight into the episode. So, actually, this isn't even related to the topic that I want to talk about today, but I just want to let you know, sorry, whoever it is that's listening to me right now, and you basically have that thing that you want to start it right now. For some of you guys who don't know, I started this podcast in January. It was first known as the Joy Podcast. But then I eventually changed the name, I think around March time, and I basically changed it to Joy with Intention. Because it's basically it's because it kind of has like a double meaning, because obviously my name's Joy, so it was kind of like, because right, my this podcast is never me coming to you guys as someone who knows everything and has all of the knowledge in the world. It never has, and I don't think it ever will be. But it's more been me learning lessons as I go along on my self love journey, and just going across life in itself and speaking with other people. And it's just basically these lessons that I've been learning as life goes by. And I learn these lessons and I basically share them with you guys, because I'm definitely not someone who has it all together or has everything figured out. That's not me, okay? But I'm honestly learning every single day, and I think we can all learn as well. There's always room for learning and always room for improvement. So, yeah, I basically changed this podcast name to Joy of Intention, because it's basically like a digital diary, I would say, of me learning to live a life of more joy with intention. So it's like joy is living with more intention. And then also on the flip side, it was basically us aspiring to live a life of more joy with intention together. So yeah, that was like basically like, how I changed the name a bit. And so yeah, I've only ever done audio recordings since then. Um, but as of today, I decided I'm gonna start video podcasting. Wow. Wow. Scary. No, because I'm not gonna lie, if you told me this time last week that I was gonna be recording a video podcast right now, crazy, I wouldn't have believed you. But here we are. I'm sitting here for the first time video podcasting. I'm a bit nervous, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm acting like I am. Like I do. So I hope it's coming off as I do. But yeah, I've made a few mistakes along the way, but that's a part of life, innit? So, um, and also this is your sign. Like, if you want to start that thing, start it. I'm starting video podcasting for the first time, and I had to take the expectations off myself to have it all perfect and have it all figured out and have everything looking perfect. I'm sitting here in the car that really does need a wash. Like, you can see like the windows here, like, 'cause it's been raining non-stop, so it's obviously had a bit of an effect on the windows. But I'm sitting here in the car, and it looks an absolute mess right now because I've just come and absolutely demolished it. I'll have to sort it out after. And nothing's perfect right now. I'm making mistakes. I'm finding my way through. And honestly, that's the best way to do it, because I remember I was on TikTok, and there was someone who was saying, you want to get to those places, you want to do those big things, you want to get there, but you're not even willing to just start. There are people who started recording videos in their bedroom with holes in it and all kinds, But now their content caught the attention of other people. Now they're sitting there busy getting like high rise apartments in the middle of New York, like, and they're getting that back. They've now, because they started humbly, but they stayed consistent, and they kept believing in their dreams. Oh my gosh, even today in church, we our pastor, she was talking about how the imagination, the dream, it doesn't start from the outside, it starts within here. The vision starts within here, the imagination starts within here, not without here. So she used an example of Walt Disney, the absolute legacy he's created and left behind. And he had a dream, he had a vision. Mickey Mouse, that was his vision. He had the vision of a talking mouse. And what did he do? He brought it into fruition, he brought it to life. And she basically mentioned that there was, at some point, I think there was an interview with his wife, and he'd passed away. I think it was when they were constructing Disneyland Florida. And they basically asked his wife, aren't you sad that Walt Disney didn't get to see all of this in all of its glory? Like, he didn't get to witness this firsthand. Everything that he'd aspired to and dreamed for, he didn't get to see it happen. He didn't get to see the vision for the future that he had. But then she said, well, he did, because it started in here, it started within him, and he saw it. He saw it, and it basically, what came to fruition is what he already saw in his imagination, because your imagination is powerful. And I remember, even there was a video I saw of, I think she's a UK TikToker, and she basically, I think she's moved to the US, I'm not too sure though, but she was basically saying like how it's crazy, like she's gone to America now, and she's seen the difference of the UK and the US, because in the UK you're basically told to not reach for the stars. You're supposed to always stay in that pit that you're always in. You're basically supposed to live, get education, work for a job, get a job, do that job until you die, until you drop dead, and that's it. And if you have a dream, you'll absolutely be kicked to the ground for it. But she goes to America, and then she sees that people, in fact, encourage you to aspire bigger and really reach for the stars. And if you have a dream, people will be willing to invest in you and be willing to put that work into you. I don't know. I think just the talk of really going after our dreams and our goals and our visions for the future, it just really inspired me and just really got me thinking. So yeah, I don't know. But that wasn't even what I was meant to talk about today. But yeah, I just wanted to leave you guys with that note, that whatever it is you want to start it now. Start it now, because I don't think anyone ever starts perfectly. I don't think, if it does, then that's a bit odd. But not everything starts from the bottom. I think, even because I remember I was watching a sermon one time, and there was a pastor, Charlotte Gamble. She said, everybody wants a stage, but no one wants a stable. Jesus, King of Kings, was born in a stable. And everyone wants a stage, everyone wants a massive platform, everyone wants to start at the top. But no one wants a stable. And the stable is where good things are fruitioned, and where good things are born. That's where goodness starts. And I'd rather be, my pastor said today, I'd rather be in the valley, in the bottom of the valley, with my God, the Most High, than be at the mountaintop by myself, with no vision, with a failed plan, a dead dream. I'd much rather be at the bottom of the valley than up there with absolutely nothing. So yeah, let's get straight into the episode, because I've had a bit of a yap session. Sorry for the little angle change, guys. I don't know if you can notice it, but if you can't, that's fine. My phone kept falling down. So, yeah, I'm still working this out. So please, give me some grace, guys. But yeah, if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking down at my notes because I made quite a few notes, actually quite lengthy notes for this episode. Actually, so yeah, please do bear with me, guys. So as you can see, this episode is titled. I don't actually know what the title is of as of right now, but it's gonna be this title is basically gonna be about our winter rock because it's now October, which means we're going into the winter seasons, the colder seasons. It's getting darker, it's harder to wake up. Seasonal depression starts kicking in. It's not cute for some, it's not cute for many. But maybe there's a way we can make it a bit better. So yeah, we're talking about entering our winter arc, but I wanted to give it a bit of a theme. The theme for this episode will be being an academic weapon because I know quite a few of my listeners, you guys, are students, whether that be in high school or higher education or whatever part of education you may be in. Um Academics is a very big part of our lives for many of us. I know it is for mine. It does play a very big part in my life, and for to an extent it does have an effect on my mental health, which I don't think is exactly a great thing, but I have I have this kind of mentality where I have to get really good grades, otherwise I'm like, and that's a mentality that I'm really trying to stay away from because it's not good, it's not healthy, and I mean, yeah, it gets you those grades, but realistically, your mental health matters a lot more, and your self confidence and your self esteem and your self perception matters a lot more than any grades. Okay, but then again, we want to get that back too. So, so let's get straight into it. Oh yeah. So yeah, please do mind me. I'm just looking at my notes. Don't worry. I'm not ignoring you guys. But yeah, what does it mean to become an academic weapon? I think we've seen this term thrown about quite a bit on social media. But what is an academic weapon? What is it? Let's explore it. Sorry, I need to be serious. What does it mean and what is it? Like, what actually is it? What is an academic weapon and how do we define it? So, I think Google says that an academic weapon is someone who is relentless, focused, and efficient in their studies. Um, and also to highlight that being an academic weapon does mean studying smarter, not harder. You can study all of the hours that you want, but if you're not working effectively and you're not studying effectively, you're not gonna get those grades. Because say like for me, because I don't know how most of the exams across the world will work, but I know with A levels, if you're not practicing past paper questions or reading over the exam specifications by your exam board, I mean, you can do all the revision, but you won't really know what you're being tested on because at the end of the day, you are working towards the exam, the actual exam. And if you're not practicing exams, then you know what I mean? Like, it kind of makes sense, and especially like you're literally getting tips like from your exam boards, the examiners, the people who are marking you, the people who are making your exams, they're literally giving you tips on how to improve and what you need to revise on and how to revise. I'd say that would help quite a lot. And I'd also say the qualities of an academic weapon are traits like discipline, consistency, sharp focus, and not relying on self motivation over discipline. Self motivation, even motivation itself, can be really good. It can come in handy, it can come in clutch at times, but if that's all you're relying on, that's not really going to be a help to you in your academic life because realistically we are not always motivated, we are not all motivated, but discipline is what is going to keep you going and what is going to keep you going through even when the times get tough and even when you don't want to do it. Discipline is going to keep you grinding, and it's going to keep you focused, and it's going to keep you tunnel vision focused, so you can get to that goal that you've always been wanting to achieve. And even if that's not an academic goal, whether that be in whatever aspect of your life it is, that is still a really key concept to remember and to maintain, you know. So yeah, and then also resilience, because realistically, mistakes are going to be a part of life. Mistakes are going to be a part of learning, you know. It only becomes failure if you never learn from it. But if you do learn from it, it's a mistake. You learn, it happens, you learn from it, you move on, you get better, you learn the lesson, you apply that lesson into your life, and you maybe even teach that lesson to others. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just sharing those lessons that I've learned with you guys, you know? So, especially because, as I've said multiple times in my episodes, you know, we're all doing life for the first time. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to have mistakes. You make mistakes. It's okay to fall back sometimes. But are you going to pick yourself back up, or are you just going to stay there, absolutely wallowing in what happened? I mean, the choice literally lies with you. So what are you going to choose? What are you going to decide to do? So, also, yeah, it's a mindset. I remember one of my friends, she's a really smart girl, I'm not gonna lie to you. She always gets amazing grades, and she studies like physics and maths and stuff. She's honestly on another level. Like, she's intelligent and bright. And she's applying for Oxbridge, so she's very intelligent. And I remember after one of our GCSE exams quite a few years ago, she said, the thing is, you can revise all you want, but if you walk into that exam thinking that you can't do it, or thinking that, oh yeah, I've not got it in the bag, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed, oh my gosh, I can't do this, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. If you start allowing yourself to spiral and start allowing your brain to spiral, guess what? Your brain will align with those things you are saying and your brain will align with those thoughts. But she said, I literally, I don't know why, but this always sticks to me. I remember she said, once you have the mindset done, that's half of the work done. That's half of the work done. That's half of the exam experience done. Once you have your mindset in check, once you have your mind in check, that's half of it done. That's why it got to a point I was like, okay, when it comes to exam season, I'm going to have to stay away from my friends. I love them, but I'm going to have to love them from a distance, because I know they're going to be stressing, and it's like, it's such a normal thing. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. Oh my gosh, I hate this. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to fail. Those things, you are speaking life. No, in fact, you're speaking death into that exam. You're already setting yourself up for failure. You've already decided in your mind, you've already decided in your imagination that you're going to fail, or you're not going to do as well as you could do. So guess what? You will do worse than you could have done if you even believe that you could do really good. It's a powerful lesson once you realize it. And I thought, when I first heard it, I was like, nah, bro, there's no way it can be true. No, it's true. I remember I tested it. There were exams where I walked into them and I absolutely panicked, and I was like, okay, I can't do this. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh. And every time I saw a question, I'd start panicking, and instead of actually reassuring myself and telling myself, I can do this, I can do it, it's fine, I'll find a way through it, instead, I started spiraling. And then once I learned that lesson, I was like, okay, let me start applying this into my life. Let me start reaffirming myself more positively, and let me see where it gets me. And guess what? The exams that I did start positively affirming myself, I got better grades by a mile. By a mile, you know. I really spoke life into my English literature exams, I'll tell you that. I really spoke life into them, and then I got an A star. Tell them about it. Yeah. So, yeah. That's just a really big tip on entering the mindset of an academic weapon, because you can have everything sorted out externally, but if you don't have everything sorted up here, you're not going to get to where you want to be. That's all I'm saying. And then, now, let's talk about setting the stage for your winter arc. Now, what is a winter arc? Let's talk about this, because I know this is a term that's been thrown about as well on social media quite a bit. But what is it? What do we actually define it as? So, the winter arc, I think what Google says is basically it's a period of deep focus and personal transformation. Ooh, that sounds so official, you know? And it also consists of minimal distractions. And this is a season where you buckle down and put in the work to emerge stronger. So this winter arc usually happens from October to December. I mean, depending on some countries, it can even go to January. If you're from the UK, it can maybe even go to March. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. One year it was snowing in March. I don't know why, but it's giving climate change. Anyways, but yeah, it's basically usually it's from October to December, and it's usually like when the days are starting to get colder. You know, mornings are darker, evenings are darker a lot faster. You know, it's getting a lot harder, and for a lot of us seasonal depression does start to kick in, and it does become a really hard period, and it does become a really hard time. But I think this kind of trend, would I say, on social media has decided to take a positive turn on winter and actually use it as time to lock in, especially because in winter most of the time you will be indoors. Most of the time, you may even be in your own home a lot more than you usually are, which means you have a lot more time to focus on your goals and focus on yourself and really lock in to achieve those goals that you want to. So, yeah, what are the benefits of this winter arc? I think I've pretty much mentioned them, you know, how in an academic aspect, it helps you master your subjects, ace your exams, and basically build better study habits. And now, let's talk about creating your own winter arc. How do you do it? Well, number one, visualize the goal. Visualize it, see it in your mind, write it down. Your brain does tend to remember things a lot more that you write down, you know, especially you don't want it to just be floating around in the air. And then after now you have all these things, but you don't have them written down. Write it down. You know, visualize the goal. Set clear academic goals for the winter period. If that's achieving specific grades by these certain months, if that's being able to have all these revision notes by this certain time, I don't know what it may be for you, but get those goals down. Write them down. Organize yourself. Master time management. Master organization, because especially if you're getting into those more crucial academic years where you're moving higher in the education spectrum, you're going to need to master time management, and you're going to need to master organization, you know, because workload does get overwhelming, but we can change that, and we can limit the amount of overwhelm that we get, or how overwhelmed that we get, by organizing ourselves. And then number two, remove distractions. And I think also discussing the importance, sorry, realizing the importance of cutting out distractions through this time. So that could be for you, social media. That could be loads of parties that you're going to instead of actually going home and studying. That could be going out with friends when you know you should be reading your books. You know what I mean? It could be anything. I know for me, what I did, I put screen time limits on my phone. So after an hour, I can't access any of my social medias. Because that, and if I do, I have to put in my screen time passcode and everything. And I don't know, it just makes me, the fact that I just can't click on the app so seamlessly and just open it. Yeah, it really does help me to be like, okay, no. In fact, that time I could have spent scrolling on social media, I'm going to put it into my schoolwork, or I'm going to put it into my goals, you know? And then number three, commit. Commit to self-improvement. Focus on personal growth, reading extra resources and seeking out help where needed, you know, and staying consistent with your studies. Now, I want to talk about building the habit of an academic weapon. What are the habits of an academic weapon? What do they do? What do they entail? What does their life look like? Number one, time management. Know how to master your time, because obviously we do not want to get burnt out around here. We need to know how to manage our time. We need to know how to manage our time effectively. There are students that are in really top institutions, yet they somehow know how to manage their time. If you don't know how to manage your time, there are endless resources out there online, whether it be YouTube videos, whether it be going online, just simply searching on Google. There are endless possibilities for you out there. You don't have to worry. Mastering time management will help you not feel so overwhelmed. And the thing is, I think what most of us have to realize is that because most of us will say, I don't have time. Yeah, but if it's a priority, you will make time. Because for that exam, you're willing to stay up till 3 a.m., even 4 a.m., even pull an all nighter to revise for it. You made time. Now, that's not the best way to make time because, as I said in previous episodes, you should be getting your sleep when you can. You should be getting your sleep. You should be getting well rested because your sleep does affect your performance and it does affect your health drastically. You know, there's a point in year 12 where I wasn't sleeping properly at all. I was going to bed at around 1 a.m., 2 a.m., maybe even 3 a.m. There was a time I even went to bed at 4 a.m. And then I had to be up at 6:30 every day. There was a point where my body just shut down. It couldn't function anymore. I got really badly sick and I basically couldn't study for the whole time I was sick. And then I was like, you know what? There's not even any point because I've been sitting here in the name of schoolwork, busy staying up so late to the crazy hours of the night. But now because I want to get more studying apparently. But then now I've now had 2 weeks robbed off me because my body shut down because it couldn't handle it. I don't know, it just really got me thinking. And I think I realized that yeah, having a sleep schedule is really important. Having good hours of sleep is really important. And I was staying up to those crazy hours of the night because I wasn't managing myself properly. I didn't have good time management. I was sitting there, getting home from school, just scrolling on social media. Then it gets to 9 p.m. Then I start to do my schoolwork. How does that work? How does that work? So, yeah, time management. Now, number two, deep work. Get used to deep work. Deep work is basically where you set a period for yourself, whether that be even 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, however long you want to do. You basically sit there and you stay focused. You get into it. You know, I think I don't really need to go any deeper into that, but deep work is so good. It has such a positive impact. And I don't know, it just really helps you get a lot of stuff done. So I think even trying out, techniques like Pomodoro technique or whatever technique works for you. And remember, the same thing that works for you won't work for someone else. And the same thing that works for someone else won't work for you. So don't start comparing yourself and beating yourself up if you can't work like that other person or study like that other person, because you have different brains and you have different purposes and you have different callings and you're wired differently. You're two different people. Even if that's your sibling, even if that's your family member, you're not going to be the same, and not everything that works for them is going to work for you. So I feel like we have to learn to be okay with that. And then number two, track your progress. I think for some of us, I know for me personally, sometimes I can have a setback or I'm not exactly seeing the progress in the long run, or I'm not exactly where I want to be just yet. But then I have to realize I have to cut myself some slack, because if I look back at myself a week ago or like a month ago or like even a day ago, I know more now and I'm getting better and I'm becoming more advanced than I was, And I feel like that also helps encourage you to keep going, because sometimes when you don't see any progress, you get discouraged, and that's when people give up. That's when people say, I quit, because what's even the point? But track your progress, because progress is progress and it matters. Whether that be recording in a journal, making video diaries, recording voice memos, taking screenshots, putting in your notes, whatever. Track your progress. It is truly so vital to your development. So be sure to do that. And then also number two, self-care is key. There there is so much importance in balance. We need to have a balanced life. We need to have a balanced, yeah, we need to find balance in our lives. I think I realized once school was getting so monotonous for me and it was just becoming so repetitive and cyclical, I was starting to lose my motivation. I was starting to lose my will for it. I didn't want to do it anymore. I was like, what's actually going on? Like, I don't want to do this anymore. But no, I think I had to realize that I need to implement some more balance into my life. So I've started getting back into my fitness. I've started, doing different things, getting into extracurriculars, being able to socialize with the people and get to know the people. It really does help. And yeah, also, stay on top of your nutrition, your sleep, and your breaks, even while working hard, because it all does affect your performance, whether you realize it or not. And then now, we're going to talk about handling setbacks during your winter arc era. Now, obviously, the winter arc era, it's a concept, right? But doesn't remove them from the fact that we are human, and doesn't remove them from the fact that we are going to mess up and we're going to make mistakes, and not everything's always going to be perfect. But it's so key to develop resilience in the face of mistakes and failure. Setbacks are always going to be inevitable, and they're always going to happen. But an academic weapon doesn't sit there and completely wallow about it. The average person does, but an academic weapon faces them, allows themselves to feel these emotions, but knows that they don't need to internalize them and make them into something that they aren't. They're going to take those emotions and they're going to take those failures and those mistakes and flip them for the good. And they're going to work on them and learn from them and keep bouncing back until they see their goal. And then number 2, sorry, how to course correct. Develop your own tactics and techniques on how to improve from bad grades or failures or mistakes. Only you know how to do that for yourself, and you can. And be sure to also motivate yourself and really support yourself and encourage yourself, because if no one else will root for you, do it for yourself, because if you don't, who will, And then, now lastly, let's talk about emerging from your winter arc as a strong student. After your winter arc, I want you to take a moment to reflect on your growth. Throughout your winter arc, I want you to do the same, both academically and personally. What things have you started to implement into your life? What things have you started to learn because of this winter arc? What kind of attributes and skills have you started to develop and obtain through this winter arc season? How has your life now started to change? What's happened in your life that now you've started to implement these things into your life? Has your life changed? How has it changed? Celebrate your progresses. Talk about the importance. Talk about your successes, whether it be with others or even by yourself. I don't know, because every success that you have and every win that you have, it should be celebrated. You deserve to have it celebrated, even if no one else is there to celebrate it with you. You celebrate it because you deserved it, because you worked hard for it, and you give yourself the credit that you're worth. You know what I mean? And also, consistency is key. Consistency, you don't have to start from the very top, and you don't have to start from wherever you feel comfortable, because whatever you know is going to maintain you for a long time, whatever you know is going to be sustainable in the long term, you keep working towards that and you keep going. Okay, you maintain that consistency, because consistency is what gets people to higher places. Consistency is what gets people noticed. Consistency is what makes people improve, Consistency is key. So, I want to challenge you guys today, and I want you to write down your goals, write down what you want to achieve, write down what you're going to implement into your winter arc, what lifestyle changes are you going to make, what changes are you going to implement into your life, what things you're going to implement into your life a bit more, perhaps, and then, yeah, that's a bit pretty much of what I just have to yap about today. There's a quote I found. I asked ChatGPT, can you give me a winter arc type quote, and they said, "This school year is yours to take. Enter your winter arc, put in the work, and watch yourself transform into the academic weapon you were always meant to be." So, yeah, that's just a really quick and kind of messy episode about being going into your winter arc, becoming an academic weapon, really starting to step into your goals and really starting to become the person that you've always wanted to be. Guys, I know that you can do it, and I really do believe in you guys. But it's about time that you start believing in yourselves too. Because if no one else is gonna believe in you, and if no one else is gonna root for you, you keep rooting after yourself. You keep rooting for yourself. You keep supporting yourself, and you keep advocating for yourself. I remember I saw this TikTok, and it was so cool. There was this girl, and she said, I don't care if I only get 5 likes on my post. I still know I'm that girl. I still know. So don't let external factors validate your worth or your identity or how much potential you have. Once you know inside, fix that mindset, because it's the mindset that makes you an academic weapon, not anything that you can do. Right. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say today. Yeah. Well, keep consistency. Keep going after your goals. Keep believing in yourself. Keep supporting yourself. Keep looking after yourself. And let's enter this winter arc season, and let's conquer it together, because I'm entering it right now. And I'm doing okay. I'm still adjusting. I'm still finding my feet, I'm romanticizing it, and I'm making mistakes, but I'm getting there every single day, learning from them and improving. So, yeah, you can do this, and it all starts in the mind. It all does. So thank you so much for listening today, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, this episode is so stressful to do. I've never video podcasted in my life. I've never even sat down and recorded. I don't think the last time I actually sat down and recorded myself with a video. Now I'm sitting here, fully recording with the mic and everything. Fully recording a whole video podcast. Wow. I didn't expect myself to be doing that, but I mean, when you take leaps of faith, you end up doing things that you never even expected to do. And when you actually start to believe in yourself and really start to overcome the fear of being seen. I don't know. You never know. Who knows what your yes could lead to? Who knows what your yes could lead to? I mean, look back in the previous story I talked about Walt Disney, his yes. Look at the legacy it's created. What could your yes lead to? You never know. So, yeah. I'm so glad if you stayed to the very end. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I really hope that you enjoyed today's episode. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. Just a really quick reminder before you guys leave. To support the show, you can give a rate, a review, comment, like, subscribe from whatever platform you're listening on. And yeah, thank you so much for being here, you guys. I hope you have a lovely day, afternoon, evening, whatever time you're listening, and stay blessed. And yeah, how can you share the wisdom that you have learned with other people? How can you plant that seed into other people's lives? Perhaps you can share this show with someone else. Perhaps you can share this episode with someone else. Perhaps you can even tell some other people about what you've learned. Who knows? But yeah, I think that's all I have to say for now, you guys. But thank you so much for listening. I'm going to tune out right now. Okay, bye.